Drone technology is developing at breakneck speed and is having a revolutionary effect on the modern battlefield. Evermore, the images of the American involvement in Iraq and Afghanistan are dominated by drone strikes. In the recent Ukraine-Russia war, we saw tank after hapless tank being taken out by drone strikes. Join us today in Drone Zone as we talk about Boeing's latest two drones, the Ghost Bat and the Stingray. Boeing's loyal wingman is now officially the MQ-28A Ghost Bat. The Royal Australian Air Force, or RAAF, unveiled the new military designator and designation for the autonomous combat drone at the Amberley Royal Australian Air Force Base in Queensland. Giving the loyal wingman a formal name may appear insignificant, but it represents two significant steps for the program. Its name, derived from a native Australian bat, recognises the first Australian-produced military combat aircraft in almost a half-century, and it also indicates that the drone is progressing from the experimental phase to full deployment with the RAAF and sales to international customers. The Ghost Bat's quick development, which took only 3 years from original design to first flight, is largely due to Boeing Australia's use of digital engineering and innovation production techniques. When fully operational, the autonomous combat craft will have the performance and range of a conventional fighter aircraft. This will enable it to fly solitary missions as well as collaborate with other crewed or uncrewed aircraft. However, there are some requirements that must be completed before the Ghost Bat can join the Air Force. According to Boeing, the next phase will focus on increasing sensor and mission capabilities to satisfy RAAF obligations. The announcement of the new popular moniker is a rare and important time in aviation history for our RAAF partners and industry team of over 35 Australian suppliers, Glenn Ferguson, Director Air Power Teaming System Australia and International, said. The Ghost Bat, an Australian native mammal noted for hunting in packs, embodies the unique attributes of the aircraft sensors and intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance skills, and is an appropriate name for this pioneering capability. The Ghost Bat is an unmanned aircraft that uses artificial intelligence and a modular mission package system in the nose, which allows the entire nose of the aircraft to be removed and quickly swapped for another nose with a different set of equipment or armaments for various missions, such as combat, force reconnaissance, and electronic warfare. One duty will be to provide defense and surveillance support to manned Royal Australian Air Force or RAAF aircraft, such as the F-35A, FA-18F, and E-7A. The UAV will be designed to operate autonomously as well as a faithful wingman commanded by a parent aircraft to perform tasks such as scouting or absorbing enemy fire if attacked. The aircraft will be Australia's first combat aircraft conceived and developed in more than a half-century. Boeing has stated that whether the aircraft is built in Queensland or the United States will depend on the market. Boeing Australia announced the opening of a new manufacturing facility for the Loyal Wingman unmanned aircraft at Wellcamp Airport in Toowoomba, Queensland on September 21, 2021. As part of the Loyal Wingman Advanced Development Program, the RAAF initially planned to purchase 3 Air Power Teaming Systems, or ATS. 3 drones were assembled on an automated assembly line in Brisbane, Queensland. The assembly line serves as a proof of concept for full-scale production. Days after the first flight, the order was upgraded to 6 with a $115 million Australian dollar contract. Following the unveiling of a full-scale mock-up at the 2019 Avalon Air Show, the first real aircraft achieved system power-on in March 2020 and was rolled out in May 2020 by Boeing Australia with the release of images showing a detailed prototype of the aircraft and a video demonstrating the drone's operational capabilities. This is a very momentous occasion for our country and for Australian defence innovation, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison stated. The Loyal Wingman will be crucial in investigating the critical skills our Air Force requires to safeguard our country and its allies in the future. Boeing reported that the engine of its first Air Power Teaming System, or ATS, unmanned aircraft would be fired up for the first time in September 2020. The engine test is part of the ground testing to get ready for the first flight by the end of 2020. The Boeing Air Power Teaming System prototype flew for the first time under its own power in October 2020, completing low-speed taxi testing at RAAF Base Amberley. December 2020, the Boeing Air Power Teaming System conducted a high-speed taxi test at an unknown remote location. The prototype's first test flight took place on February 27, 2021 at RAAF Base Woomera. 2 more flights took place at the RAAF Woomera Range Complex in early November 2021, with one prototype successfully raising and engaging its landing gear and the other completing its first test flight. On the 21st of March 2022, an official naming ceremony was performed at RAAF Base Amberley to declare that the loyal wingman would be known in RAAF service as the MQ-28A Ghost Bat, named after an Australian bat found in northern areas of the Australian continent. The ghost bat is an Australian native mammal noted for hunting and detecting in groups, which symbolises the aircraft's sensors and intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance capabilities. Before we get into Boeing's newest production drone, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our future content. Boeing Defense, Space and Security has won a competitive contract to design, develop, construct, test, deliver and service 4 MQ-25A Stingray unmanned aerial vehicles or UAVs, which will be integrated into the aircraft carrier Air Wing, which the US Navy has been considering for some time. An unmanned aerial refueling capability will extend the range of the carrier Air Wing and make better use of Navy combat strike fighters that currently conduct aerial refueling missions while reducing the human risk factor of such missions, says Captain Chad Reed, Program Manager for Navy Unmanned Carrier Aviation. Once operational, the MQ-25A Stingray will be the world's first carrier-based unmanned aircraft, providing the carrier Air Wing with a robust organic refueling capability, says the company. Boeing will deliver fully operational MQ-25As by 2024 under the contract, which is worth an initial $805.3 million. Admiral John Richardson, Chief of Naval Operations, called the contract historic, saying at the time, "We will look back on this day and recognize that this event represents a dramatic shift in the way we define warfighting requirements, work with industry, integrate unmanned and manned aircraft, and improve the lethality of the Air Wing, all at relevant speed." At the start of 2017, there were rumors that the US Navy was looking into using drones to refuel fighter jets in flight. Although Boeing ultimately won the contract, Lockheed Martin and General Atomics also bid. Northrop Grumman initially expressed interest in tendering but withdrew before presenting an offer. "We're already prepared for the first flight because of an exceptional team that understands the Navy." At the close of 2017, Boeing teased the industry first on Twitter, claiming that it will transform future air power. A few days later, it debuted its concept, which was covered below a black cover. The UAV was already conducting engine runs before traveling to the flight ramp for deck handling trials, according to the report. Boeing President and CEO Leanne Carrot remarked on the contract win, "As a company, we made an investment in both our people and an unmanned aircraft system that meets the US Navy's refueling requirements. The fact that we are now prepared for maiden flight is due to an amazing staff that understands the Navy and the importance of having this essential weapon on carrier decks all over the world." Boeing must successfully complete the development of the MQ-25A system that meets all key performance parameters, completely full system integration, complete a formal test and evaluation program, and develop affordable and executable manufacturing processes, Captain Reed says, adding that flight testing is expected to begin in 2021. The majority of the work will be done in the company's St. Louis headquarters in Missouri. However, many other locations in the US and elsewhere will contribute. According to US Navy sources, the Navy will eventually acquire up to 72 of the UAVs, which will cost roughly $13 billion. After a few rough years for Boeing's defense division, the contract is expected to mark a turning point. Analysts estimate that the market for medium-altitude long-endurance UAVs will be valued at up to $22.2 billion between 2017 and 2026. According to Teal Group Research, it is now the second largest market category, with unmanned combat aerial vehicles accounting for slightly more than $27 billion in the same time span. That's it for today's video. Let me know which of the two drones you prefer. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video just like I've enjoyed making it, and make sure to comment with any future videos that you're interested in watching. I'll be seeing you all soon, but until then, watch this video to learn more about what the Phoenix Ghost drone can do, and as always, subscribe or crash.